Those water levels should be going down.
Definitely good news to hear, especially when it was getting closer and closer to the homes that are just down the street here on River Street. And I can tell you, I can visually see. We were kind of talking about that. Hey, it looks like it's going down. It looks like it's going down. But now we definitely can tell that the river has gone down quite a bit. You see these big logs that are up on the street here. Look how far back the water is now. The water was already passing the logs here in the foreground earlier this morning. So receding is good news for the folks that are on this street, and we're concerned about their property, their vehicles, their homes, and we've had some folks that just stopped by concerned about this garage that is right here on the side of the road. One of the things that we have continued to see, though, just large chunks of debris floating down the river. It's moving very fast, so that's something that will still continue to be a problem here over the next little while. So when you have entire trees that are floating down the river at times, that definitely could cause some problems on down as that heads on down the river. So this is the Pigeon River. We've also got flood warnings that will be continuing on the Cocke and also the French Broad right here in Cocke County. And of course, downstream, the waters will be higher as well. Reporting live in Newport, Kyle Granger, WVLT News.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And good news to see all that water going back down. Even that truck that was behind Kyle, we couldn't see its tires at one point. Our Gwendolyn Ducree was at the scene where a Yukon Denali had been flipped over from those waters. Where are you now, Gwen, and what's the latest?
Hey guys, well, I moved so that I could bring you the very latest. We're still in Hartford, but I wanted to just show you how things are just back up and moving for this town. People are getting into work and telling me how they had to travel the long way to get there, even waking up a little bit earlier than usual just so that they didn't have to get stuck in any floodwaters. But we're seeing a lot of that is receding. We're not seeing a lot of water on these roadways like we were seeing when we first got out here around 2 o'clock this morning, which is good news. And so people are up having their day. Some people didn't even realize what was going on. Some people asking, well, what are you all here for? I said, did you miss it? There was a little bit of flooding out here. So it was good on their part. And we know that no injuries were out here, but it was a little bit of a convenience for some people having to leave their homes in the middle of the night to go to some of these shelters. There were about 4 across the county at some high schools. We're told from the county mayor in some cases that there were about 5 different rescue missions that they had to go and get using military equipment just to rescue people from their homes because a lot of these roads out here were impassable. And she just said that those crews have been working around the clock. But something that they need to work on, they say, is communication. Here's what they're trying to do to better improve that for folks.
We are in the process of getting a reverse notification system right now. We release that to the media. We release that to our emergency management has social media pages. I have social media pages. So mostly it's word of mouth and our local media.
So our Cocke County family and friends, it's a good idea right now while you have power to go ahead and download that WVLT News app as well as the WVLT Weather app, because you just heard it from your mayor. There's no county-wide communication system, but of course we try to keep you covered as best as we can, and speaking with those officials telling us how they're trying to better keep everyone safe. And again, safety is the key word here. We know that there were no injuries from the flooding. Right now they're just trying to figure out how much damage these strong waters and these streams left behind, guys.
Yeah, Gwen, you're exactly right. As soon as we got the notification that evacuations were happening, we sent that alert to anyone who has our app. So people in that area, if we can help in any way to make sure people stay safe. Gwen, thank you.
And now, your WVLT First Alert forecast.
And getting a check of that forecast, Heather, still so crazy to see even where they are. Not a drop of rain this morning, but still all that from the mountains coming down and still causing those rivers to rise.
Well, yes, and that's why they said it's already met that peak rise. So now it can at least gradually go down, but that does mean gradual, as in the warnings are until tomorrow for that reason. So a lot of you are just waiting for waters to recede, whether it's puddles and mud in your yard or the high flood waters in Cocke County. Big ups and downs in terms of rainfall, but of course that flash flood flood watch valley and east, and this is why. And a lot of you had flash flooding, which is when you had that high water and then it quickly receded. You have flood warnings in Cocke County because it lasts longer. So just a quick little reminder there on those differences. So we had a lot more flash flooding yesterday, and then the active flood warnings for the Pigeon River as well as the French Broad River. It's the major flooding right here between Hartford and Newport that we have our crews monitoring. So I wanted to just give you some perspective there because yes, things have cleared out. Fred's moved northeast. That's what just gave us that drenching, soaking, accumulating rain yesterday. As it moves on though, the next batch of active weather will be arriving tonight. So for now, what can cause some issues, at least make it hard to see some ponding up ahead, dense fog. Good news, actually, it's whittled down now to more of Monroe and McMinn County, southern Loudoun and Rowe. This is actually an improvement because it was all over the plateau. It was much more thick up through the plateau to valley, northeast Tennessee. Now you have limited visibility in Campbell County as well. And some new hazy views are developing here far north and east because these clouds are trying to clear. So just kind of all that humidity, you see it, you feel it today. Right now we're hanging out at 71 in Knoxville to 68 Harlan, 65 Crossville to Monticello. For the day ahead, like I said, things are clear for now. We're watching the downpours and storms developing middle to west Tennessee. That'll start pumping in some batches of rain and storms into our area. So we will get back into some on and off rain and storms. So I've got the latest timeline on that here in just a few minutes.
All right, Heather, thank you very much. We'll get out to Cocke County coming up in just a bit, but taking a look at some of the other top stories around East Tennessee. The University of Tennessee is offering a public vaccine clinic in Neyland today. The university is giving the first dose of the Moderna vaccine. That clinic will be from 3 o'clock this afternoon to 6. We got all the information on how you can sign up over on the